Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will now convene the special magistrate meeting of January 9, 2023. At the outset, will all those representatives for the city of Daytona Beach will be testifying at this morning's proceedings please stand and be sworn? Okay. Folks, I apologize for the delay in getting us started, but just for your information, this is a special day that we set. And had we not done that, y'all would have been probably here for a real long time tomorrow. But I apologize for the delay in getting started, but trust me when I tell you, you'll be in and out of here faster than you would have been had you been left on tomorrow's agenda. That having been said, let's proceed with the hearing of the cases. Do we have any announcements to be made?
Just one. Page number 3, case number 5, SMG 01-23-06 for 717 Tennessee Street was in compliance as of 1/6/23.
That it?
That's it.
All right, first case we have on this afternoon's agenda is TC Strategies, LLC. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Good morning, or good afternoon. Inspector Bostwick, City of Daytona Beach, credentials on file. All right, this was a vacant lot case, citizen's complaint, opened on September 27th of 22 for overgrown vacant lot, trash and debris. First notification was on October 17th. Compliance was due by October 28th. The last day of reinspection was January the 4th. Result, non-compliance, no contact with the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's presentation, I find the respondent to be in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by February 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 2, Willie Keith Williams and Cornelius John Henry. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Afternoon. If you would please state your names and be sworn by our secretary.
Willie Williams.
All truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, first off, do you all agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation? All right, then I find the respondent in non-compliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondents to come into compliance?
Next cutoff.
Our inspector has suggested you ought to be able to fix these things by February 8, 2023. What do you think?
No,
Why not?
because I've been in communication with the inspector, and the property has improved a lot. However, I'm having some pushback from the neighbor because he's now saying he wants me to identify my property line. So I've been reaching out to surveyors, trying to get someone to come out and survey, but they're so busy till the end of February. I've also reached out to the fence company. I have an appointment for February the 18th. However, I'm still going to need the surveyor to come out as well to identify.
Who's telling you you need a survey? Your neighbor?
The guy who I have been back and forth battling with, the majority of the junk that's on that property, it's his.
Okay, well then let's back up.
Okay,
Let's back up.
okay.
I asked you if you were in agreement that this violation existed or occurred. Are you telling me that what we're talking about is on someone else's property, or is it partly yours and partly his?
It's ours. It's not partly his, but he's been utilizing the space. He's been just parking cars over there. He has junk on my side. So it's not his property. It's our property. We're trying to come in compliance.
Why does... Okay, first off, you're going to wait forever for a survey, and it's going to cost you money.
I realize that.
And this would take a heck of a lot less time to fix than it would to get a survey. I'm not understanding,
I don't know if I can just go out there and just start pulling his stuff. Like, I don't know where the line where his property ends and mine begin.
you're not sure where your property line is?
That's my problem. So with him, I've been out there, I've talked to him.
Whose stuff is it?
It's the neighbors.
The neighbor that wants the survey?
No, I want the survey because now he's questioning me. Oh, well, he can shed light on it, the Bostwick.
As you can see right there, Mr. Magistrate, that's their property line. Now, I'm not saying that's accurate, that's from the property appraiser, but pretty much all of that belongs to them. And this neighbor in the house right there on top, he's just parking all of his stuff and making that like his own, parking
Okay, so
garage.
everything in the red line is their property?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't know why you don't take a snapshot of that, get rid of everything in there.
Does it end? But if you look, that looks like it's right at his back door.
Okay.
Is that true? Because I'm not a guru when it comes to property and property line and what exactly I
Well,
can.
right now, your biggest problem is me.
I got that part.
Okay, right now, your biggest problem is me, and the city's saying, you got all this junk out there, you gotta get rid
It
of.
does not look like that today.
Okay, well, that's fine, I'll take your word for it. My point is, I don't know why you have to be put to the task of the time and expense of a survey. You've got the city telling you, there's a property line as far as we're concerned. They just showed me that, so that's good to me, that's good for me. So you clear out everything in that property line and you're done with me. And you don't need to go get a survey for that purpose. This man flashes up another picture that looks like that, and everything in that red box is out of there, then you're in compliance as far as I'm concerned. And you and your neighbor can feud about property lines another day whenever you feel like spending the money to do it. Right now, you don't need to do that to come into compliance for my purposes.
Okay.
Unless you just feel like, I can't even imagine what a survey's gonna cost you.
Did you zoom in that picture? On the house, so it's right up on his doorstep.
Okay, whatever.
Okay. Everything inside the red box.
Yes, sir.
There you go. You got the city telling you where your property line is. If I were in your shoes, looking at that, and if I thought, yeah, that looks to me like that's about what it is, then I'd be content with that. And if that's manageable, then go get rid of that, and you're done. Now, your neighbor can gripe about wanting a survey for some other reasons, but I'm not looking for a survey. The city's told me that's what you need to clear out. You clear that out, and you're done with me.
Okay.
I've already told him this.
Pardon?
I've already told
Oh,
him.
yeah. I'm not disputing that you've not been working with me or not talking.
No, I was just
I'm not
letting,
disputing that.
I was letting special.
No, I understand. You're anxious about getting into a lawsuit with a perhaps difficult neighbor. I don't know if the neighbor's being difficult or not, and you don't know whether to fish or cut bait. I understand all that. Okay, as far as what you need to get yourself out of here and this notice of violation and the city of Daytona Beach badgering you, they've already told you there's your property line. If you're in general agreement that that's your property line, then I got both sides telling me there's the property line, so I'll take that for granted. So there you go. You just dispensed with the need for the survey for my purposes. Now it's just a matter of clearing that out. And if this guy wants to start fussing about you being on his property, let him come back and we'll put that up there again and he can show me what he's talking about. And if he wants to get a survey because he doesn't think that's right, then I'd let him go spend the money on the survey. But that's just the way I'd handle it.
Okay.
Let's talk about the junk that's inside the red line. How long will it take you to get that out of there?
The only other issue is this: none of that exists except for there's a HUD or a storage unit or something. But other than the boat is gone, the cars have been removed. It's a tent, and it's that blue tarp thing, whatever that is. That's the only, this blue truck, it's parked there, but I think it's functional, and he park it and it goes away. Like that's functional. The boat is gone, the other cars are gone, that tent thing is not gone. And if you go up front, that right there is parked there every morning. So I
Whose
don't
is
know.
that?
I have no idea.
Does it come and go every day?
Yes. It's there
Okay, well,
early in
that's-
the morning.
My finding would be that, well, I mean, your obligation is to tell these people not to park there, or at least put up a sign that says no parking, do something, and that's for the sake of getting the city off your back more so than anything else. But if you know, that's another matter. Anyway, that's another matter. If it's in the red box, get rid of it. If you got a motorhome coming and going, let the city know it's not yours, and take whatever reasonable steps you can to get a hold of those people to say, do not park here anymore, or I'm gonna call the city of Daytona Beach and I'm gonna have your vehicle towed away. Plain and simple. I would think that would be the solution there. As far as everything else in the red box, it needs to go. So you're talking about a tent and a tarp. Like,
Yes.
what, it's of some significance? Is it a
See
permanent-
that right there?
Okay, that,
Oh, see that thing? Yeah, that. Now
it looks
this,
like one of those busted up things you put on the beach when you want some shade down there.
that's the homeless person that has relocated on that property from
That's the
across
what
the
now?
street. That's a homeless guy. He relocated to that property. I guess it's a homeless camp across the street. So he has relocated, and all of that right there is his junk. But don't matter. I can get rid
I
of
would
it.
assume you would call the police and ask them to remove them,
Well,
for starters.
the inspector gave me the number to the guy that worked with you all and the police department. He's been on vacation. He's not called me back yet. So I'm trying to get in contact with him so he can help me in that situation.
Okay. All right. This is turning, the faster I try to go, the more I learn here.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. So we got a motorhome that comes and goes, and we got homeless folks. Okay.
Yes.
The only thing I expect of you is that you do whatever you reasonably can.
Okay.
Okay? I don't expect you to be a guarantor. I don't want you getting in a battle with the motorhome people. I don't want you getting in a fight with homeless people. Call the police, do what you can. As long if whatever is left there on the end of the day, you have a plausible explanation for, then I'll hear it. You know, so get rid of everything you can and satisfy me that you've done everything you can with whatever may be left, passing through, stopping by now and then, coming back and undoing everything that you did, and I'll hear that. But for starters, you don't need a survey. You got the red line. Get rid of everything in there that you can, and anything that's not in there that you can't get rid of, just come and let me know. I've contacted those people. I've told them not to park there. I contacted the police. I've tried to remove them. We've removed their stuff. It comes back. I'll hear all that. All we want to know is be satisfied that you've done everything you reasonably can. Don't go getting into fights. Don't go getting into confrontations. Just assure me that you did what you reasonably could.
Okay.
10-4?
Okay.
I'm going to order the respondent to come into compliance by February 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Stay in touch with your inspector. If you get jammed up, if you run into problems, if you run into delays, he will be your best friend. Ignore us, and you'll get hammered.
This man probably tired of me calling him.
Pardon?
I call him every day almost. He
You're
tired of me.
bonding.
Oh, that's what it is.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Case number 3, Cynthia B. Lloyd, personal representative, in Willie Mae Lloyd Estate, and Dorothy Hahn. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, this was a vacant lot case, field generated, opened on August 12th of 2022 for overgrown vacant lot and trash and debris. First notification was on September 29th of 2022. Compliance was due by October 9th of 22. Last day of reinspection was January 4th of 23. Result, non-compliance. I finally got in contact with Cynthia Lloyd on January 5th of 2023. I met with a cleanup person for her, and he emailed me this morning saying he's gonna have everything done by this Thursday. So staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Okay, noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by February 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 4, Sophia Azor. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, it's a vacant lot case with a citizen complaint opened on August 5th of 2022 for overgrown vacant lot with trash and debris. First notification was October 4th of 22. Compliance was due by October 15th of 2022. Last day of reinspection was January 4th of 2023. Result of reinspection, non-compliance. There's been no contact with the owner. Staff requests finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by February 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 5 is in compliance. Case number 6, Rosa P. Gibson. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, this vacant lot case with a citizen's complaint opened on August 11th of 2022 for overgrown vacant lot with trash and debris. First notification was on September 24th of 2022. Compliance was due by October 4th of 2022. Last day of reinspection was January 4th of 23. Result, non-compliance. There's been no contact with the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by February 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 7, Rosa P. Gibson again.
All right, this vacant lot case with a citizen's complaint opened on August 11th of 2022 for vehicles parked on the vacant lot. First notification was on September 24th of 2022. Compliance was due by October 4th of 22. Last day of reinspection, January 4th of 23. Result, non-compliance. There's been no contact with the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by February 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case 8, Teresa C. Dinkins. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, this is a vacant lot case driven by a citizen's complaint opened on May 23rd of 2022 for overgrown vacant lot and trash and debris. First notification was on September 20th of 2022. Compliance was due by September 31st of 2022. Last day of reinspection, January 5th of 23. Result, non-compliance. There's been no contact with the owner. Recently found out that the owner is deceased. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Well, Teresa C. Dinkins is not the decedent, though.
Well, that's the owner of the property, and I was told that she has passed away.
Okay, this says Teresa C. Dinkins, L.E. I assume that means life estate?
Yeah, I would think so, yes, sir.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm not going to enter an order against a dead person. It would appear as though the respondent here has a life estate, which would suggest that they're still around. Anyways, Ms. Dinkins still around or not?
Nope.
The information that's obtained, which should have been information obtained from the property appraisal report, which is...
She's deceased.
Pardon?
She is deceased.
All right, do we need an order entered anyway?
Yes,
Okay.
we would be entering it pursuant to the statutory requirement to utilize the last known individual on the property appraiser's report, and then we'll do the follow-up of if there's any existing diligence in determining if there's any other people making claim.
Very good. All right. Well, obviously recognizing the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by February 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case 9, S. David Shaw and Lily Mae Shaw. Yes, sir. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
My name is S. David Shaw.
Mr. Shaw, are we in agreement that this property was in non-compliance as stated in the notice of violation?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Then what say the respondent as to compliance?
Sir, the property is part of my homestead.
It's what now?
It's part of my homestead.
Okay.
It's part of my homestead.
All right. Well, the notice of violation says parking vehicles on vacant lot, unapproved surface, storage shed on vacant lot, trash and debris, and landscaping. I don't know that it being your homestead makes a whole lot of difference, Mr. Attorney.
Sir, that vehicle and all stuff, when he came by last time, showed a picture, there was no vehicles parked, and the only thing there is that shed, which is part of my homestead.
Okay.
All that stuff was cleaned off. I had a lot of wood, bushes and stuff. When that complaint was filed, I've cleaned that lot off.
So you're telling me the only thing of this violation that remains is a storage shed?
Which is part of my homestead.
All right. Mr. Attorney, does the storage shed have some sort of immunity here?
I would need to hear whatever I would make assumptions, but I would rather hear from the
Okay. Let's hear from our inspector then.
Or you want the whole thing or just,
I'm here all afternoon.
all right.
I have the papers showing that it's part of my homestead.
All right, well, this was a vacant lot case, was opened by a citizen complaint back on January 18th of 2022 for the vehicles, storage shed, parked on a vacant lot. First notification was on September 6th of 22. Compliance was due by September 17th. Last day of reinspection was January 4th, result, non-compliance. Now, I have spoken to Mr. Shaw. I did speak with him last week. The vehicles have been moved, okay? Me and Mr. Shaw and I had a conversation early this year where he said that he was gonna try to combine his vacant lot with his property, okay? I checked the system on December 27th, and at that time, it hadn't into, his parcel, because that's his home right there on the bottom. So until he combines a vacant lot and his property at the house, he's not in compliance. Now, I don't know what this here he has right here.
And if I may, for Calvin, so are you saying that you've since combined the two lots, or are you relying on the past? As of when? This is something I'm not used to reviewing these documents. So as of when? When did you combine?
Combined in November.
Okay. Just want to
Let me show you where.
put it on record. I guess just for the record, Anthony Jackson, attorney for the city. Yeah, this by itself doesn't come in. Okay, hold on.
paid my property taxes. That lot, $400 combining it.
I don't understand how you can combine property, but I'm going to wait to hear from our attorney. Unless somebody has replatted that whole area, and that's a separate designated piece of dirt with its own legal description. And the fact that there's common ownership does not necessarily mean they're combined.
Did I apply for accommodation? Well, I haven't.
Well, I think there's going to be a lot more to it than that. I mean, I appreciate you telling him about your permitting and licensing department, but I suspect when you get a little deeper into it and somebody starts looking at the real estate law that's involved, unless somebody has replatted that area, eliminated the adjoining line between those two properties, then those are two separate parcels.
Correct.
They might have common ownership, but lots of people can own lots of lots next door to each other. That doesn't mean you get to combine them all into your homestead. Now, I'm not trying to queer anything here. I'm just telling you, I'd be a little bit surprised if it would be as simple as someone from permits and licensing, well, yeah, it looks to me like you combined it.
Well, he would have to get it rezoned.
Further back than that, it's not just getting it rezoned, it's getting it replatted. The official records for Volusia County are going to show everything inside that red line as having its own dedicated legal description. Pardon?
It did it on that paper.
You know what? I got to be honest, I don't really care what the tax assessor's office or the tax appraiser's office did. I know enough about property to be dangerous here. It doesn't matter. If you, let me back up and let me explain some of your rights to you before I go running my mouth any further. You are entitled to pursue whatever administrative review or process you may think you're reasonably entitled to try to prove your point.
Yes, sir.
So if you're of the opinion that this is something you're going to be able to persuade me of, or if you're of the opinion that this is something that you can take to permitting and licensing, building and zoning, the tax assessor's office, and somebody can say they're combined, they constitute as homestead, that's fine. I'll hear that. So is it your desire to pursue that? If it's your desire to pursue it, then I'll give you time to do so. If it is not your desire to pursue it, I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't seen anything that tells me that those two lots have been merged into a single homestead lot on the basis of what I'm seeing and hearing so far. You want me to tell you your answer?
Go ahead.
I think what your answer ought to be, would you please give me an opportunity to explore the permitting and licensing thing that he's talking about and try to come back with some clarification as to why I should be entitled for you, Mr. Magistrate, to consider these two lots as combined for the purposes of this notice of violation. While I appreciate your expertise on real estate law, I don't know that that comes into or within the scope of the notice of violation that's before you right now. So would you please continue the determination of this matter till next month's meeting? Give me an opportunity to come back loaded with whatever information and or ammunition I can to try to persuade you that these lots have been combined for your purposes when it comes to this notice of violation. That, I think, should be your request.
Okay.
All right? You got any objection to this being continued until we can get some clarification?
No, sir.
All right, I will continue this matter to our February 14th meeting, and you already said at the outset you weren't stipulating to be in noncompliance, right?
Well, not, no, sir, I am in
Okay,
compliance.
so I don't need to
Sir.
change or withdraw anything.
Sir, I am not in compliance. I'm in compliance.
No,
with-
you're
I am in compliance.
stating that,
I'm in compliance, sir.
there you go. Okay, then we will continue the determination of this matter as to both compliance and time to come into compliance at our February 14th meeting.
Sir,
Yep.
the original complaint was about the trees, rubbish on the property. Take the original picture, show that.
The
Oh, it
storage
says
shed is
storage
still there.
shed. It says storage shed on vacant lot.
It was, original complaint, sir, was the trees and the rubbish on the lot. Vehicles.
And
All
I'm
that.
telling you, my notice of violation says parking vehicles on vacant lot, unapproved surface, which is prohibited, storage shed on vacant lot, and trash and debris and landscaping. All right, I don't see any trash. I don't see any debris. I don't see much landscaping, but I don't know what's required there. And I don't see any vehicles. So it looks to me like we're talking about a storage shed and somebody perhaps telling me you're supposed to be landscaping this. I don't know about that, and I don't want to get ahead of myself.
The only thing that's left is for the storage shed to be moved.
Pardon?
The only violation left is the storage shed.
Okay, there you go. Good luck to you.
I'll come back
February 14th.
14.
Yes, sir. And again, I would suggest you look, you know, you might want to get to this with the city and just, but anyway, you do whatever you want. Find out what you can.
And can I just clarify something? And I know we can deal with it at the next meeting, but our position would be that at the time he was cited, that he was in violation, and I don't believe he came into compliance within the time that he was ordered to come into compliance, but that would be up to the inspector.
Well, I understand that, but I might very well find that he's in compliance now.
Understood.
Okay, so I understand what you're saying. So anyway, everybody is intact. Everybody comes back on the 14th. Everybody can argue whatever they want to argue. 10-4?
Very good.
Yes,
Good
sir.
luck to you. Case number 10, Petra North Incorporated. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, this vacant lot case was a citizen's complaint opened on October 23rd of 2022. Overgrown vacant lot with trash and debris. First notification was on September 27th of 2022. Compliance was due by October 8th of 2022. Last day of reinspection was December 29th of 22. Result, non-compliance. First contact with the owner was on January 3rd of 2023. Staff request finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Okay, noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent to be in non-compliance. In order the respondent to come into compliance by February 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 11, Suzanne M. Jones, LLC. Anyone here for the respondent? Come on up. Good afternoon. If you would please state your name and be sworn by our secretary.
Raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Ms. Jones, you can pull that mic down. There you go.
Yes, ma'am. Are we in agreement that these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes, Your Honor.
I find the respondent in non-compliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
By next cutoff.
The inspector seems to think you ought to be able to take care of all these things by February 8, 2023. What say you to that?
Yes, Your Honor. I will be in compliance by then. It's just ready for paint.
Okay. Then I will order the respondent to come into compliance by February 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Keep in mind, this man has to do his final inspection before you're done.
Right.
And if you run into problems along the way, keep him posted.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck to you. Case number 12, Joseph E. Abik-Hacker and Johanna R. Ataya. Don't know if I did anybody any justice there. Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Case is in compliance, sir.
Okay. Case number 13, R.G. Mueller Properties, LLC. Yes, sir. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
Ralph Gary Mueller.
Last name?
Mueller, M-U-E-L-L-E-R.
Raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Mr. Mueller, do you agree these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
I find the respondent in noncompliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
By next cutoff.
Next cutoff's February 8, 2023. Mr. Mueller, what say you to that?
Okay.
Okay. I will order the respondent to come into compliance by February 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Good luck to you. Case number 14, Paul W. and Beatrice I. Zavitsky. Not seeing a respondent. What say the city?
Good afternoon, John Stinson, Code Inspector with the City. Qualifications are on file. This is a complaint-driven case. They were cited for outside storage and exterior staining. All violations have been corrected except for the staining. First notice was on 1 September 22. I've had one call from the property owner. Compliance was due on 23 September of 22. The last inspection of the property was this morning. Remains in non-compliance. Ask for compliance by next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent to be in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by February 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 15, David Parak.
David. Morning. Afternoon, sorry.
State your name, please. Your name? Name?
David Parag.
You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Do you agree these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
I want to tell you, my English is not so good. Okay, I have
Did
to
it look
pay-
like that?
Yeah, it was look like that.
Okay, I find the respondent
Okay.
non-compliance. Hang on a second. How much time should reasonably be required to come into compliance?
By next cutoff.
All right, go ahead. What do you want to tell me?
Okay, I want to tell you, I was in July 27 in the heart surgery in in Atlanta, and I was before that 2 weeks, so I don't have time for my property. I was very sick, and when I meet him, I told him I need the time. In the meantime, I do a lot of this, but still I have to finish. I go one time more, I was in the hospital for the second valve in my heart, and all what I need, and I ask him, I need time. I have no problem to fix all the problem. The problem is me with myself, with my health. I am 81 years old.
You're what?
I am 81 years old.
Oh, you look good for 81.
Thank you. So I just need time. And right now I come, I tell you, I need time. I have to go to the hospital. I have the paper over here from, if you want to see, I can show you.
If I want to take it, if you want to show me what papers?
From the hospital.
Your hospital records?
I want to show you what
Why do I want to look at those?
True.
Okay, well, I believe you.
I have to go one time more in the 17th to the Atlanta. And after that, they're going to release me. Maybe everything going to be better. So I spoke with him. I don't know. I mean, he's very nice. I don't have problem with him. I spoke with him, and I told him all what I need this time. What you see now with this bicycle, everything, this is gone already.
Okay.
I mean, I make a lot of job. All what I need is time.
Okay,
So I
don't
don't
say
think-
I need time anymore. I heard that.
Okay.
How much time do you think you need?
Okay, I'm gonna be in January, let's say 23, I'm gonna leave Atlanta. I need 2 months after that.
2 months to clean up what little trash I'm seeing? You
No,
told me you
2
already cleaned it
months
up.
to come back to my life. 2 months to come back to feel myself, but I can.
Okay, is this an apartment building? How many units are there?
There's 2 buildings, 4 in each.
You had 8 units. Do you have a property manager?
I have now somebody with this kind. It's not easy to find somebody.
Well, you have
It's
a
not
property
easy to-
manager.
What?
You have a property manager.
Yeah, but it's not easy to find. I look for people. I look for workers. They promise to you they not come. They come. They not do the job. And I, with my position, with my health, is hard for me. Okay, all what I need, I believe, February rest, in March. I can finish all this. I know you're laughing, but
Yeah,
This-
I'm
this-
laughing
this
because
is
you're
my-
haggling.
this is my situation, Mister.
Okay,
What
stop.
Okay, stop.
I will give you, instead of February 8th, I will give you to March 8th. Will you have it done?
When?
March 8th.
March.
8th.
March.
March. To the
2
end of
months.
March.
2 months.
March. 2 months.
Yeah.
And you'll have it done.
Yes.
All right. If I have not done so already, I find the respondent in non-compliance. Order the respondent to come into compliance by March 8, 2023. Let me tell you something here. There's not much stuff there to be cleaned up. I don't know why you're not having somebody else do it. If it's not taken care of by March 8, 2023,
why.
you don't want to come back in here.
No, I
He's
don't.
going to ask for a fine, and I'll be a little irked.
I'm not going to come back because everything will be done.
Don't forget to call this gentleman. Don't forget to call this gentleman and have him inspect it before he's all done. You guys are having too much
We're
fun
already
out
good
there.
friends.
All right, good luck to you,
Thank you.
and good luck with your health. Case number 16, Brian and Barbara Grant.
Brian Grant?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Grant, are we in agreement that these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
All right, then I find the respondent in compliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondents to come into compliance?
Inspector Garcia, credentials on file. That'll be the next cutoff.
Next cutoff, Mr. Grant, is February 8, 2023. What say you to that?
I'm actually here today to ask that this case either be dismissed or the compliance time increase significantly.
Why?
I'm actually in the process of transferring the property, this and the next case, the parcels to the Food Brings Hope organization for low-income housing, for a low-income housing project they're doing it. And that's being overseen by ICI Homes. Part of that project will be that they'll have the land cleared for the building. And I believe that that should conclude within the next 60 to 90 days.
All right, let's back up, and you need to give me a little bit of history. Okay, Wildwood Street. What's going on with you and Wildwood Street right now?
Oh, it's property that I inherited, and I honestly don't have the time or resources to keep it up. So when I was approached about turning it over to a charity, it just seemed prudent to do so.
And the name of the charity is?
Food Brings Hope.
Food Brings Hope. And you're also here for case number 17?
Yes.
And is that a similar situation?
It is.
Is it the exact same situation?
It is.
Okay. And so you are anticipating, I assume you're still the record owner of these properties?
I am still the record owner.
Until when?
I'm sorry?
Until when?
So that's what seems up in the air. Right now, we're in the process of having engineering and an environmental study done on the property. and I believe we should be closing after that.
Okay, and your purchaser or acquirer is whom?
Is the Food Brings Hope organization.
Okay, and then once they own it, what are their plans?
They're building low-income housing.
Are they aware of these violations?
They are,
Are they aware that these things need to be brought into compliance?
yes. The company, ICI Homes, which is, I guess, the developer overseeing it, I was in contact back and forth with them about the violations when they were first brought to my attention. And I believe they spoke with somebody in the code enforcement department, possibly to have the non-compliance delayed a little bit. I'm not completely sure. I have an
Okay,
email
how
record
big are
of all
these
of that.
parcels?
They're very small. They're like 4,000 square feet
Each?
and I think 6,500 square feet.
Like 40 by 100, 65 by 100, something like that?
Yeah, they're
And
high shape.
are these in a residential area?
They are.
Is this,
It's right across from the property with all the RV that you mentioned earlier, that the woman was here.
okay,
That big vacant lot with all
Right.
those, it's right across the street from that.
all right, well, do you know anything about this transaction he's talking about?
No, this is the first time I've talked to anyone. I have no contact at all with any of these properties. And there's 2 other parcels adjacent to those that are also the same situation.
And I've
Same
actually
situation
left
as
you 2
in-
voicemails.
Sorry?
Same situation as in subject to notices of violation, or same subject as to being transferred to this charity?
Same situation as being overgrown, trash and debris, and having homeless people on that property.
So you're saying the conditions are the same?
Correct.
Okay, what say the city?
We're just asking for the next cutoff, non-compliance next cutoff, to have it cleaned up.
And I did drive by the lots today on the way in, and I agree specifically with the trash that that's unacceptable. So I do have a call out with sanitation to have that addressed specifically.
Sanitation who?
City of Daytona.
He's talking about Waste Pro.
Pardon?
He's talking about Waste Pro.
Does the city call people out here to clean property, private property?
Well, to collect the trash.
Mr. McKelvey, if I may. Yeah, at this time, we don't know anything about the program, so that's one of the reasons next cutoff, just for us to be brought on page. Maybe he's talking to someone in the city. We don't know. We don't know what the status and how long or anything else at this point.
Okay. I'm going to order the respondent to come into compliance by February 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Let me tell you what I'm doing and why. Okay, I can't just ignore the fact that there's a property out there that's in violation, that's in need of correction. You're telling me there are circumstances that should warrant somebody doing something different. That's over my pay grade. I don't have the authority to just ignore the notice of violation and ignore the violation that's not in dispute. So that having been said, right now you're still the property owner, right now you're still on the hook, right now you're still required to bring it into compliance by February 8, 2023. You might want to talk to the city of Daytona Beach and tell them what your plans are for the city and see where it all goes from there. That would be my suggestion or recommendation. But as far as me and my little empire that I'm in charge of right here, this is what's in front of me and that's what I'm supposed to do.
The city of Daytona is very well aware because the properties are being replatted so that they become buildable with another owner.
Well, it sounds to me like you're doing exactly what I told somebody else they might need to do a little earlier. So it's in the works. All I'm telling you is you need to get together with the city of Daytona Beach to say, I got this special magistrate barking up my leg here, guys. You know all about this. What can I do in the interim? I would think that would be the next question you'd want to ask somebody at the city of Daytona Beach, but you do whatever you want.
And if I could be heard as well, just the real point is that you need to make sure that the code enforcement is in the loop, because code enforcement is once it's coming to the magistrate. Those other divisions are not. So make sure your code inspector or whoever you talk to in code, and know that you're talking with someone in code as well.
Otherwise, we move independently and do our thing, and you don't want to find out 10 years from now when you try selling a piece of property you own in Volusia County that there's a lien out there. That would ruin your day. So, in any event, talk to whoever you need to talk to at the city of Daytona Beach. I would suggest you share everything with this inspector right here so he knows what's going on. So that if come February 8th, this hasn't been attended to, you can at least come back here with a plausible explanation as to why nothing's been done and how you were led to believe or expecting that something else was going to be intervening. 10-4?
Very good.
All right, hang on. Case 17 is the exact same situation?
Yes.
All right, then based upon the testimony of both our inspector and the respondent, with regard to case number 17, I find the respondent in noncompliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by February 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Okay, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You have a card, right?
Sorry?
Do you have a card?
I don't.
No? You have a number?
Yes. 324 5.
Okay, thank you.
All right, case number 18, Lowell E. and Kristen I. Lingo. Anyone here for the respondent?
Lowell, Christian, not here.
Okay.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Mr. Lingo, you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
No.
Okay.
We have,
Well, why don't you hang on a second? Let's hear our inspector tell me why it is he thinks you're in violation and give you an opportunity to hear what he has to say, and then you can respond. Go ahead.
This is an unmaintained vacant lot, as you see here, right in front, and it was also posted. I had no contact with the owner, so I had to post it. I just don't have any, it hasn't been maintained, and
Where's the vacant lot?
it's straight ahead it's between the truck and the palm trees.
Okay. All right. All right, and I've got a photograph in front of me. What say Mr. Lingo?
okay, I note that it was sent, I think on November 29th. We didn't actually get the certified letter until last Friday, I think, or last Thursday or Friday. I'm not sure why. It wasn't, it wasn't Daytona Beach. It was, that's when we got the notice from the post office. We had one.
Probably went to
So I
the
haven't
north-
been down
probably
here.
went to the North Pole first.
But my, my question on the lot is, I went over and I'm not really sure what the problem is. I looked at the law cited, and it talks about keeping the parkage maintained, and we've been doing that 3 times a year at least. We come down, and I have Mike Ivanovich, here's real estate agent, got it for, and I have receipts for several times when he's had people
Hey,
come
hang
down.
on a second.
and-
What's the problem with this lot, Mr. Inspector? I expect you're going to tell me the foliage is overgrown,
Overgrown
and
grass.
that becomes a
weeds.
police issue.
Correct.
Okay. You know what he's talking about?
I'm not sure what the, what the height of the,
I mean, it looks to me like you need a lawnmower and a garden saw and a couple hours, and you'll be done.
And I can help a little bit as well, Mr. McKelvey. I think you made mention of the parkage, which is that section 78 that's cited.
Right.
But also cited is the International Property Maintenance Code 301, 302, and those would deal more with what's being described.
oh, so that just covers the whole, all the acreage?
Yeah, yes.
Right.
Okay, so I'll have to look that up. I didn't realize we've been maintaining, well, I actually had the whole thing brush hogged what can be. So what defines, I guess I'm asking you, right? What defines where, brush, because you need permits to cut anything over?
Well, I think it's more from the ground up than anything else.
That's correct. And I can meet you at the property and show you,
I'll
point
meet
it out
with
in
you and
depth.
show you.
Yeah.
And what it is, and quite frankly, I never appreciated it until I saw it. I remember the old Father Lopez site. They came in here, and I can't remember if it was owned by Walmart or what. And they kept talking about how to be maintained. I didn't know what they were talking about, but I drive by the thing every day. And yeah, I'd never noticed it before, but you know, when it's all overgrown, then God knows who can hide where all over the place. And what they did then was they just mowed it, and then they cut the shrubs from like up to 6 feet or 8 feet. I don't know what it is, but it makes a world of difference when you can start being able to see across the property, and it's primarily a security.
Okay, and we're allowed to do that without, I can do that without special permits?
No permits.
I don't think you would, I can't imagine you would. All right, you gonna tell me you ought to have it done by February 8th?
Yes, sir.
You have it done by February 8th?
Yep, I guess so.
Yes, sir. Okay. All right, I find the respondent non-compliance, order the respondent come into compliance by February 8th, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. If you will call this gentleman, he'll tell you what you need to do. He'll meet you out there, and most importantly of all, don't forget to call him when the work's done, because he'll put a final report in here, and then that'll be the end of it. Good luck to you. Case 19, Marion O. and Margaret Dugans.
Marion Dugan.
You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Dugans, do you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
All right, I find the respondent in noncompliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for Mr. Dugans to come into compliance?
The next cutoff.
Mr. Dugans, the next cutoff is February 8, 2023. What say you to that?
Due to the fact that all the other things that have been done, the only thing left is to finish up on my painting. I see no reason why not.
You got your building permit for your shed?
Yes, I got that today. They approved it. I will be posting it tonight. My inspector should be coming out tomorrow morning, and I would finish up the painting.
Sounds like you got it all under control.
Trying.
Okay, I find the respondent in noncompliance. Order the respondent come into compliance by February 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Case number 20, St. John's Revocable Living Trust. Not? Do we have a respondent? Yes, sir. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
Donald Kane.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. What is your affiliation with St. John's Revocable Living Trust?
I'm the trustee, the main trustee with
That'll
my
work.
family.
That'll work. All right, Mr. Kane, do you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes, I see from the picture there. And I fixed many of the things on that were cited, but there's another circumstance. There's a human factor here. I have the tenant that...
Slow down. Let's take care of one thing at a time here. I find the respondent in noncompliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
He should be able to come into compliance by the next cutoff.
Inspector says you ought to be able to come into compliance by February 8, 2023. Okay, now, go ahead if you will.
Can I have a little bit more time until March?
Okay, why
to
do
get
you
it
need until
painted?
March?
Well, part of the reason is well, by the way, the toilet's been fixed in there, the picture there.
Okay.
The tenant is a large person, and I've fixed tightened up the toilet seat a couple times, and then finally he complained about the toilet, so I sent a plumber in there, Bill Wilson, and he rebuilt the whole toilet for $310. But the tenant is being evicted. He's a troublesome tenant, and he generated the complaint for the code. And I'm hoping that I can get him evicted before March. I'm in process of eviction. Now, he doesn't pay the rent. He was kicked out of his mother's house, and he's just a freeloader. And so then I'm anxious to get in compliance and do the painting and everything so I can sell the building. I'm 84 years old and I'm running out of shelf life here. So,
Okay, is the tenant causing you any problems as far as getting the work done in order to?
yeah,
get compliance?
he's not cooperative, although he did allow the plumber to come in.
Why don't you focus on that? That is of relevance to me.
Yeah. He's got German roach problem, and he refuses to properly to clean it out. You have to take everything out of the cupboards and then get sprayed. But he's refusing to do that. He leaves garbage in the apartment and then and eats in various rooms in the apartment and draws German roaches. So, and he's not cooperative. The other thing is the last 2 storms I had in the backyard, I had the fence ripped down, blown down. I didn't have any water intrusion in the building, but I had wind. And so then I replaced all the,
You started eviction proceedings.
yes,
Okay, so you're telling me your tenant's a problem. You're telling me your tenant's interfering with your ability to come into compliance. And you're telling me you've already started eviction proceedings.
yes,
And that with that, you need additional time in order to finish this.
yes.
All right,
I think it could all happen by March.
okay.
But I'm anxious
So do
to,
you have any objection to 60 days instead of 30 days?
No.
Okay, and I'll order the respondent to come into compliance by March 8,
Yeah.
2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Now, if anything should crop up, let this gentleman know. It's not unusual in eviction proceedings for something to crop up.
yeah,
So keep him posted as to what's going on.
yeah. It probably would help if Kevin would accompany me to visit with the tenant to try to emphasize that
Yeah, I have no problem.
to fix
Absolutely.
the inside, we've got to have its cooperation.
10-4. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Did I do everything I needed to do? Yep. Okay, good luck to you. Case number 21, Nesco Associates LLC.
But that'll work for now. I can cross the toilet off.
Good afternoon, Mr. Viculja, city staff. I am Tom Guest, property manager representing Nesco Associates LLC.
Say your last name again.
Tom Guest, G-U-E-S-T.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Guest, are we in agreement this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes, sir. And I do
Andre-
have some things I want to present to you, some photos and proposal for repairing the awning.
All right, hang on one second. I find the respondent in noncompliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
Since he's now contracted the work out, it'll be May before the awning repair is done. So May cutoff.
That sound right to you?
Yes, I've got, would you like a
Take your
copy of
word
this?
for it.
Okay. Sun State awning says 16 weeks. And we haven't actually contracted them. I got this proposal. This was just given to me a couple of weeks ago, and I've been scrambling trying to get it done. And I got a proposal, and I want to come before you to get your approval of when it could be done. But this calls for 16 weeks from the time that I contracted, which I will do this afternoon.
Which puts us when?
16 weeks.
May 1st from today.
Okay. So May 3rd docket theoretically is workable.
Theoretically,
Okay.
depending on, these places are so, there's one awning company I contacted 6 months.
I
to do
understand.
it. So we're taking this one to get it
I
done as
understand.
quickly
All
as
you can do is what you can do. All right. Having found the respondent in noncompliance, I'm ordering the respondent to come into compliance by May 3, 2023. Or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. I want a copy of the fully signed agreement sent to our inspector so that we have confirmation that were on board, as I don't usually just give that much time away without a little security that I can actually count on this being done.
Oh, I
So
understand.
as soon as your contract is bilateral, please give a copy of it to Mr. Yates, and then with that, we'll be fine. And if, on the other hand, there ain't no contract, then we'll bring the matter back for further discussion. Okay?
Okay,
Good luck to you.
thank you.
Case number 22, Miara Properties 2 LLC. Yes, ma'am. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
Liraza Sayag.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
And your affiliation with the respondent is what?
I'm the GM of Cruise and Cafe, owned by Miara Property, which is the property we're talking about.
Okay. We good to go, Counselor?
Yes, I'm good with that.
Do you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
All right, I find the respondent non-compliance. What say the city with regard to the time needed to come into compliance?
By next cutoff, they have the paperwork in for the permit.
Okay. City is suggesting you ought to be able to take care of this by February 8th, 2023. What say you to that?
Like you said, the paperwork has been submitted. We're just waiting on the city to finish reviewing and then come inspecting. Nothing goes wrong. I believe a month should be a good time for the city. Not, then might need longer.
All right. I'm going to order the respondent to be in compliance by February 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. If there are snafus or problems along the way, make sure he knows that, okay? Because with that, then we can be a little understanding. We just get mad when we get ignored. So if problems occur, if problems crop up along the way, keep your inspector posted as to what's going on.
There wasn't ignoring here whatsoever. Along with that, there were other 20 violations that were fixed within 2 weeks to a few days. So everything was taken care of. What held this one was a survey that go with the permit.
No, I understand.
So
I'm just letting you know if things happen, and things always seem to happen, keep your inspector posted. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Case number 23, LPJ LLC.
Leroy Edwards. Yes.
Mr. Edwards, what is your affiliation with LPJ LLC?
I'm the owner.
Okay, that'll work. Do you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
I read it, Your Honor. However, I don't agree with it that I was in non-compliance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then let's hear from our inspector and have him explain why he thinks you are. Mr. Inspector, go ahead.
All right, this case was opened June 17th, 2022, and was field generated. The notice violation was issued for no business tax receipt. They were first notified August 18th, 2022, and compliance was due by September 17th, 2022. I've had contact with the owner, but the issue remains. I'd like to ask for finding of non-compliance with compliance due by the next cutoff.
Okay. And what we're talking about here is the need for a business tax receipt?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. All right. And
So,
your
Your Honor-
response to that is what?
Yeah, so Honor, I have this. Is this what it, this was under review since June.
Yeah, it's waiting for comments from you, so yeah, you don't have one. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from that point, then I went, I think the second letter, and I got this. Then the guy then the inspector just came and inspected my apartment
Right.
today.
This is from the city. You need to, your license from the city is what you don't have. That's from the state. It's a simple matter. You just need to go and answer their comments, and you can get it.
So the city came out and did the inspection today?
They may have, let me see that.
And here's a business tax.
Oh, it looks like you may have gotten it
Today.
today. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you may have been in compliance as of today. This wasn't in the system as of this morning, so if he did pass, then he would be in compliance as of today. But so then non-compliance, compliance due by the next cutoff, and should be no issue.
And compliance means what? Him handing you that piece of paper he just handed you?
Well, right now, currently, he has a piece of paper. I have to check our system and actually make sure that
Gotcha.
happened.
All right. Okay.
Because as of this morning, he did not have one.
All right, fair enough. Okay, then I'm finding the respondent is in non-compliance. In order the respondent to come into compliance by February 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Sounds to me as though you may well be in compliance right now.
Okay.
Quite frankly, if I were you, I'd make a copy of that and stick it in his hand before I left the building, but you can do whatever you want. But it sounds as though compliance is going to be achieved when he gets an opportunity to verify what you told him. And then once he does that, he'll put a notice of compliance in here and that'll be it.
That'll be done. What I'll do, I can send him a letter.
That'll be fine.
Okay, thank you.
All right, gentlemen, good luck to you. Case number 24, the Center for Investments, LLC. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
You're up.
This case was opened on August 5th, 2022, and was a rule of 6. The notice of violation was issued for peeling paint, dirt, grime, broken windows, graffiti, outside storage, broken exterior cladding, cracks and breaks in building exterior, dilapidated rear steps, overgrown landscaping, rotted wood, dilapidated blinds, and unmaintained interior. They were first notified September 23rd, 2022, and compliance was due October 23rd, 2022. I've had contact with the owners, but the issue remains. I'd like to ask for a finding of non-compliance with compliance due by the next cutoff.
Are these pictures current?
Yes, as of Friday.
Does it have the broken exterior glass like that?
Yes, sir. That's newer. As far as damage go, they already had broken windows, but those are actually within the past month and a half, 2 months.
So do we need to secure it?
Yes, it would be great if they secured it. I did speak with them about that, but
I want to request that be secured to city standards.
yeah, and in addition to being in compliance, yes.
Who's the owner and what's their game plan?
To sell it, basically. She didn't 100% confirm that with me, but in conversations, she got, a little upset about the violations, and she said, well, I'm just gonna, well, then what if I sell it? And then I was like, oh, so you're planning on selling it? And she didn't want to confirm, but it sounded like her plan is to get out from under this.
You have a name?
I don't have her name on me, who I spoke to. It was the,
Feel free to tell her next time you talk to her, selling it isn't going to do anything for the special magistrate, especially not if there's large broken panes of glass on the exterior that are accessible to the public. In any event, noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by February 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter.
I asked if you can further order that it be secured to city standards as well.
And I will, is that something I can order right now and,
Yes, just for,
okay. And I will further order that the property be secured to city standards within 10 days of this date. Failing that, the respondent will be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter.
thank you.
Case number 25, 123 West Gardner LLC. Yes, ma'am, if you would please state your name and be sworn.
Right, a little short. My name is Tina Hay.
Can you repeat your name?
Tina Hay,
Spell your last name.
Hay.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ms. Hay, what is your affiliation with 123 West Gardner LLC?
I'm the owner.
Okay. Do you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
By the next cutoff?
The inspector says you ought to have this taken care of by February 8, 2023. What say you to that?
I'm going to ask for a little bit more time. I'm about to bury my daughter.
Okay. Would March 8th be a little more amenable?
Yes, sir.
All right, then I will order the respondent to come.
I do have a question, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
The old sign, they could slide out. But I was told that I had to cut down a cement block. Can I just remove the signs? Because I'm working with Kim and the licensure on how to name our business in there. We have a nonprofit and a recovery home for women. And I don't know what, the licensure doesn't require a sign right now, but we're going for a different one. So can I just remove them?
When are you going to be done attending to your personal issues?
Pardon me, sir, I'm sorry.
When are you going to be done attending to the person?
I don't know, she just passed away this morning.
All right, why don't we do this? This doesn't look like a life safety issue to me, so why don't we continue this matter to our February 14th meeting? Would that help?
Yes, sir, but will I be in compliance if I just take it off? I just want to take it off.
Slow down. Part of the reason I did that, I don't know that you're in any condition to hear me, but part of the reason I did that was to give you time to learn what you can and can't do.
I have your card.
Okay, so we will continue this matter to our February 14th meeting in toto. So all you need to do between now and then is learn what you need to learn and figure out what your plan is going forward, okay?
I'm so sorry.
Not a problem. Good luck to you, ma'am. All right, lien review number 1, Crystal One LLC, Wallace Street. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Zoom. Yes, sir, if you would please state your name and be sworn.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you yet. Are you muted?
I am not muted.
Okay, we got you.
Okay.
All right, if you would please state your name and be sworn by our secretary.
Jeremiah Kitchell.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, your name, sir?
Jeremiah Kitchell.
Are you saying Kitchell?
Kitchell, yep. Kitchel.
Okay, Mr. Kitchell, it would appear as though we have an order imposing a fine and a lien at $200 a day for a maximum of $15,000 plus recording costs for a total of $15,024. So what is the basis for the lien review that you've requested?
Your Honor, what I am seeking is a partial release of a parcel that my father purchased in DeLand, Florida. I helped him purchase the parcel and property in DeLand, Florida, and to be quite honest, Your Honor, I'm learning quite a bit I didn't know. I searched the parcel and didn't see any encumbrances or liens against the parcel, and was unaware of these liens that were being stacked up against the previous property owner whom we purchased the property from. We are in the process of trying to sell this parcel and lot in DeLand, Florida, and are unable to with these existing liens. I've been so fortunate to be working with Miss Reno and Miss Bates and many folks in the city of Daytona Beach to hopefully, with your blessing, come to an agreement for this partial release of this property in DeLand, Florida, from this lien imposed against Crystal One.
Okay. What say the city?
Mr. Vakelja, Anthony Jackson, attorney for the city, and if you don't mind, I'll stay here since I have everything before me as far as my record, not go to the podium. As Mr. Kitchu indicates, it is cross encumbered, and the property was purchased at a tax deed sale. We acknowledged that there were actually excess proceeds, and we did get some proceeds, but far below what these, as you can tell, it's lien review number 1 and lien review number 2. There were a total of accrued $30,000 in liens between the two violations. The violator was not this respondent, and we understand that. And what we would typically do is do something a lot lower. Just, I'm sure the effort and desire for them is that they get a satisfactional release as opposed to having to worry about waiting for a clear cleaning the title by separate action. So what we generally would ask in this case, we believe this would be a reasonable request to resolve it with $1,500 to cover both of them, which would be $750 for each lot. And we believe that, generally someone with a tax deed sale, especially when it's being encumbered with substantial liens from the city, are getting the benefit of the bargain and to some extent. And so we don't believe that's unreasonable to ask that a reasonable amount for the efforts that we have put into this property. Crystal One LLC was the actual violator. They actually tried to make a claim
Back up and say that. Crystal One LLC was the actual violator?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And they actually tried to make a claim on the excess proceeds. So apparently, from their perspective, they still exist. I have a letter that from December 16th of 2022.
How much were the excess proceeds?
The excess proceeds were about $7,000 something.
And that went to the city?
It went to the city, but it was not only for code enforcement. We had lot clearance liens and other things. So we probably got about $5,000, maybe approximately $4,000 to $5,000 from the excess proceeds.
Okay. And the city is indicating right now it'd be satisfied with $750 for each of these?
Let me confirm. Yes, that's our position. We would be.
Mr. Kitchell, I'm willing to listen to you, but I'll tell you right now, that's a pretty generous reduction by the city. You want to go with that, or you want me to, or you want to pitch your case and wonder what I'm going to do?
Your Honor, that'll be a blessing to me, and I would appreciate you approve it. I agree to it.
Okay, then with regard to lien review 1, lien review 2, each of them can be satisfied by payment of the sum of $750.
Can I interrupt before you complete it? What we like is a partial satisfaction. So it's only partial as to the property that they're seeking clearance, which is actually the DeLand property. But
okay, how do we describe this property so that we know what we're talking about? You have an address?
I have a parcel ID, Your Honor.
it may be in our packet.
You want me to just call it Kitchell's DeLand parcel?
He does indicate it in the packet, on the base of the packet, but yeah, if you.
Oh, I have it here?
Yeah,
Yes, in
parcel
your
ID.
review packet.
So that's 700103060130?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then here's what we're going to do. I'm going to order that a partial release of lien review 1 and lien review 2 can be obtained by payment in the amount of $750 to satisfy each of those liens, and that is for a partial release of parcel ID number 700103060130, with the intent that the lien remain in place as to Crystal One LLC.
Yes,
Did I say that correctly?
that's correct.
Did I say that correctly, Mr. Ketchel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does that do what you need?
That does what I need. I
All
greatly
right,
appreciate
that
it.
is, now, just for your information, that's subject to being paid within 30 days. And if it's not
Yes,
paid
Your
within
Honor.
30 days, then the lien remains intact in toto. Okay?
I will pay as soon as I can get my hands on the invoice.
Very good. Good luck, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And
Have a good day.
As for the invoice that'll be sent out to you through whomever you've been in contact with, would have been you, Kim, Ms. Reno.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that's everything. That's not on this case, right? We're done with this? Okay, we're done. Oh, we didn't add on, that's not on there. Oh, we did. We did add on. And here. What was this? We haven't expected to speak to him. So, what do we want to do? Because it's not on the agenda. Yeah, it's not on the public agenda. Okay.
So we don't have to do nothing out here, we just have to add it next time.
No, we don't have to address it because it's not on the public agenda.
We good?
Yes, we're good.
All right, Mr. Kitchell, we're done. He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Very good. Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good day. All right, lien review 3, Isabel C. Rocco, 305 North Paul Revere Drive.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kelger. My name is Denzel Sipes, City of Daytona Beach Code Compliance Manager. And the city and Isabel Rocco has come to an agreement to the reduction of $1,000 for this particular lien review. And that is our recommendation to you. And if
All
you
right.
have any questions, we'll answer those.
Are you agreeable to that?
Yes.
All right, then pursuant to the stipulation of the parties with regard to lien review number 3, I would reduce the amount of the order imposing fine lien to the sum of $1,000, subject to being paid within 30 days. If it's not paid within 30 days, the lien remains intact. And if you have trouble with that 30 days, please contact the city attorney. He'll assist to the extent that he can. All right, and upon that payment, this lien will be considered satisfied and paid in full. Very good, and canceled.
Thank
All right. Thank you. All right, do we have any other matters to bring up to the special magistrate before we adjourn?
Not for today.
Okay.
But we will see you tomorrow.
You know, I don't know how much of an imposition this is, but to be honest, pardon?
Not yet. He's talking.
Well, here we go. We're adjourned.
Now we're adjourned.